prayer for you that you are reminded of God's unfailing love for you. We're told in the book of Isaiah that his unfailing love and his compassions for us will never be shaken. Isn't that great news? A great way to start the day. Well, I wonder if you have ever had a time in your life when you have felt invisible. Sometimes it can seem as though there are some people who barely lift a finger and they seem to be able to get so much attention, while others can work themselves to the bone and absolutely get nowhere. This can lead, I think, to people becoming really discouraged and being tempted to give up. And they're tempted to either fade into obscurity, or they're tempted to work themselves to the bone, to the verge of having a nervous breakdown perhaps. When we feel that way, it's easy for the search for recognition to become an idol in our hearts. Well, in Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 to 9, we find the account of the Tower of Babel. Here were the people of the world. They were direct descendants of Noah. And they were starting to seek significance in something other than God. And to this end, they thought, let's build this tower that reaches way up into the sky. And that's going to give us a solid identity. That's going to draw attention to us from all over the world. Perhaps then we might be noticed, and perhaps then we might be admired. Let's read what it says in Genesis chapter 11, verse 4. Then they said, "Come, let's build a great city for ourselves with a tower that reaches into the sky. This will make us famous and keep us from being scattered all over the world." Well, the fact that they wanted an identity wasn't a problem. It was that they were seeking that identity apart from God. They sought the glory for themselves. They wanted human glory for themselves, and they didn't want to get that glory for God. You know, we too can easily become like the people in the story of the Tower of Babel. When our motivation for doing things becomes all about being seen and recognized, to be acknowledged and to be validated, to be truly known and to feel that we are worth knowing, to be seen as worthy of someone's attention and not just simply a nobody that everyone overlooks and disregards and ignores. Tim Keller writes, "If we look to some created thing to give us meaning, hope and happiness that only God himself can give, it will eventually fail to deliver and break our hearts." You know, this reminds us that we really need to be careful about what it is we're focusing on, including focusing on ourselves way too much. That's easy to do when we're feeling unhappy with life and with the circumstances that we find ourselves in. The same thing can happen when we focus too much on other people, when we start comparing ourselves with their progress and their successes. This can compound our feelings of dissatisfaction. Too much time even on social media, on Facebook, can also make us feel invisible and unworthy as well. And when we feel that way, Paul tells us there's a place we should be looking. Let's look at the second book of Corinthians chapter 4, verses 17 and 18. "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." Rick Warren, author, preacher, says something along the lines of this: "To endure the unendurable, you must see the invisible, Jesus." We can't find our significance in what we do or in how people choose to respond to us. We can only find our significance in God, and Psalm 139 reminds us that God is the one who, He conceived us, before we were even matter. He conceived who we are and what we would be. And He designed us with that in mind. He created us. He saw us first in the hidden place of our mother's womb. And today I want to say to you, if you are tempted to feel invisible, take the time to spend some time in the presence of the one who truly knows you and loves you without condition. Rather than looking to others to notice you, look to Him. Fix your eyes on Him. And as you do, He will give you His undivided attention. God bless you. God be with you in this day. See you next time.